The turbulence jolted the cabin, causing a ripple of nervous laughter among passengers. Flight 227 was cruising at 30,000 feet, heading east into the morning sun, when most people leaned back, distracted with movies, headphones, or half-slept dreams. To anyone else, Seat 13F was just another cramped economy seat filled by a quiet, unassuming woman who kept her hood pulled low and her gaze fixed on the clouds. But to those who knew the skies, her silence carried a weight she could never escape. Her name, at least the one on her boarding pass, was Sarah Keating. But years ago, up in the blue silence above Afghanistan, they called her Raven. A name earned in fire, whispered in radio channels, and respected in every debriefing room. Yet here, she was just a passenger, one among many, clutching a worn leather journal on her lap. The captain's voice crackled overhead, cheerful and routine. "Folks, we're expecting some military training traffic on our left wing. Nothing to worry about. You might see a pair of F-22 Raptors, they like to show off a little." A stir ran through the cabin as people pressed their faces against the windows. Children squealed, pointing. The man beside her, a businessman with tired eyes, muttered, "Now that's something you don't see every day." Sarah didn't look. She had spent too many years watching Raptors carve the sky, their sleek silhouettes like blades of light. But then the chatter over the PA changed. A faint, metallic voice cut across the frequency. "Commercial 227, this is EAGLE2. We've got eyes on your bird." Sarah froze. She knew that voice. Her pulse quickened, and memories surged. The radio crackles, the smell of jet fuel, the cold hum of night missions where one wrong turn meant never coming home. She tightened her grip on the journal, her knuckles white. One of the passengers called out, "They're right outside. Look." The businessman next to her leaned forward, excitement breaking through his fatigue. "Those are Raptors, real Raptors. Beautiful, aren't they?" Finally, Sarah turned. Through the oval window, two F-22s cruised in tight formation, their silver bodies gleaming in the dawn. She expected them to peel away. Instead, the second jet rolled slightly, angling its wing as though searching. Then came the words that sent chills through her body. "Confirm passenger manifest. Requesting eyes on 13F. Repeat. 13F. The flight attendants looked puzzled. The passengers exchanged whispers. The businessman glanced at her. "That's your seat." Sarah's breath hitched. She wanted to vanish into the fabric of her seat, but there was no hiding now. The radio carried the words again, clearer this time. "Raven, is that you?" Gasps filled the cabin. Heads turned. The flight attendants froze mid-step. Sarah felt the weight of every eye, but her gaze was fixed on the jets outside. Slowly, almost reluctantly, she pulled her hood down. The scar running from her temple to her jaw caught the sunlight, sharp against her skin. The cabin fell silent. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then, in a voice roughened by years of silence, she spoke to no one and everyone. "This is Raven." The effect was electric. Through the glass, the Raptors shifted position. In perfect synchronization, both jets banked slightly, wings tilting in respect. And then, something no passenger on Flight 227 would ever forget. Both F-22s pulled into formation just outside, slowed to match the airliner, and executed a textbook aerial salute. The businessman beside her whispered, almost reverently, Who are you?" Sarah didn't answer. Memories clawed at her. The night her squadron went down, the mission that was never declassified, the lives she couldn't save. She had left that world, disappeared into civilian shadows. She didn't crave recognition, but those still in the skies remembered. The captain's voice, now softer, broke the silence. "Ladies and gentlemen, it seems we are carrying a hero among us today." Applause erupted, hesitant at first, then swelling until the cabin shook with it. Strangers clapped, children cheered, and tears streamed down faces that hadn't known her name an hour ago. But Sarah didn't smile. She simply nodded once, eyes locked on the Raptors that guarded her like old comrades. The salute lasted only seconds before the fighters peeled away, vanishing into the horizon. But the silence they left behind was heavy with awe. Sarah closed her eyes. For the first time in years, she felt something lift from her chest. Not pride, not grief, but acceptance. The call sign she had carried like a burden was, in truth, a bridge. A reminder that even when she thought she was forgotten, she had never really flown alone. The passengers returned to their conversations, buzzing with the story they'd tell for the rest of their lives. But in seat 13F, Sarah leaned back, her journal still unopened. For the first time in a long time, she didn't need to write down her memories. The sky had spoken for her. By the time the plane touched down, most people still glanced at her, some shyly, some with admiration. She gave no speeches, signed no autographs. She just disappeared into the crowd. But the Raptors had left a mark. And so had she. Somewhere above, where the air thinned and the sun cut sharp against the earth, the name, Raven, still meant something. And though she was only a passenger that day, for those who witnessed it, she was more than that. She was proof that the skies never forget their own. Would you like me to expand this into a full cinematic style script format, scenes, dialogue, pacing, so it fits perfectly into a 55-minute YouTube video production?